It's not the end of March quite yet when I'm filming this, but I'm 7 books into the month and I wanted to share them with you now because we are moving across the country. We have a lot going on as far as packing things up and planning our whole trip back. So I just thought, what the heck, I'll video this now and share it with you guys when I have time to edit when we get back. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and dive in. This book by the late Dennis Johnson was the first book I read this month, and I read it because it was just highly recommended by another blogger. It's a collection of short stories, and it's definitely told very, very beautifully. It's very unique, and it's honestly really hard for me to sort of express how I felt about it, and I think I'm not alone there. I don't think everybody is going to see the meaning in it, but I think for some people it will be very touching and very beautiful to read and to experience. So that was number 1, and I did give it, I think, 4 stars. The second one was Happily by Chauncey Rogers. It's an indie author, and I've read his work before, and I loved it. This was just the same. It had such great flow, and it was just, I just loved it. There's like a whole 2-minute book review on this one. I loved the main character. It was just easy, fun, and enjoyable read, and I also gave this one 4 out of start. 4.5? Let me check my list. Yeah, I actually did give it a 4.5 stars, which is very rare for me. I like really hoard my 5-star reviews. Like, I'm very serious about it. So I really enjoyed it, like a sort of YA fairy tale retelling. It was all good fun. You might want to check it out. Next up was I See You by Claire McIntosh, and I'll be honest, there was a lot of hype a few years ago when this book came out, and a lot of bloggers that I really respect and admire had loved it. I thought it was fine, but it was my first snagging read of the month, so it kind of brought me down a little bit. I was worried I was going to fall into a slump just because it was fine, but at a certain point I felt like it was just taking forever for anything to happen, and I had some problems with just the criminal psychology of this book, but it did build tension and paranoia really well. I think I went ahead and gave it 3 stars. March was definitely a good reading month for me, and this book was one of the reads that made that happen. I just loved it. It was honestly like being on vacation. I really hope I get to interview this author soon, and I did do a 2-minute book review for this, but basically it was just really fun. It was such great escapism. It's about a young couple who relocate to Italy in the 1950s, and it's just a very tangled like web of a situation that's going on, and it was just fantastic. This is going to be so fun for you to read this summer, and I highly recommend that you do. Next up was How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. At first, I was absolutely loving this, and I will say that the writing is just incredibly beautiful. There's these moments that are just incredibly quotable. In fact, I tweeted about it and it blew up because the quote, like the writing is just so gorgeous and it really like touches you. But I honestly felt like I would have enjoyed this more if it didn't have a plot, if it just sort of like plodded along and shared stories of history. I would have really liked it, but instead I felt like this sort of sci-fi plot, instead of making it better and making it more well-rounded, actually had the opposite effect and kind of took away some of the beauty of it, in my opinion. It's about a man who doesn't age, and so he has this rare condition. He's lived for hundreds of years, and it's sort of about his experiences and how they catch up with him in the modern day. So I did like it, but it also disappointed me a little bit, so I have mixed feelings on it. I think a 3.75 or a 4-star. I actually just finished this today, Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz, and holy guacamole, this book was like, I can't even. It was just like so well formed. It was incredible. It was also like strangely frustrating because it's a classic whodunit and it's sort of a story within a story, or a novel within a novel. So it takes a really long time for you to discover what's really going on. It's like having an itch that you can't scratch, you know? It was like this strange combination of like infuriating and extremely fun, which I guess is what any whodunit really is. But this was really fun. If you like Agatha Christie, if you like Sherlock Holmes, you've got to read this because it was just awesome. I definitely gave this a 4-star review and maybe a 4.5. I haven't decided yet. I like to mull these things over. That 0.5 makes a big difference to me, but really incredibly well formed and just. The last one was The 12 Lives of Samuel Hawley. I listened to this on audiobook. I know I'm crazy for having the paperback and listening to it on audio, but that's just a weird thing that I do. I really enjoyed it. It really explores father and daughter relationships, and basically we follow Samuel Hawley, who has 12 scars, and growing up with his daughter and how she slowly learns the history of those scars and learns more about her father as a person and the history of her mother and how her mother passed away. It's beautiful and badass at the same time, which is really hard to pull off, so I was pretty impressed by it. I did give it 4 stars. I really liked this one. I thought it was just a unique take, beautifully done, wonderfully composed, and I think I'm gonna keep it on my shelves for a while. So all in all, a really great reading month for me. I feel a lot better after February. I felt like February, I felt kind of stilted and I was frustrated by a few of the reads, but March, it's back, baby. It's awesome. I really enjoyed a lot of these. And I just had a blast reading all of them. They all sort of left a pretty good mark on me. They're all really memorable. I'll probably try to read at least one more. There's just a lot going on, as I told you, with the move and everything. So reading has definitely sort of taken the back burner to a lot of just life things. Gosh, life is always getting in the way of my reading, I'm telling you. I'm still really proud that I was able to read 7 books with all this going on, and I'm just hoping that somewhere in the future I'll be able to really just binge read during the summer maybe and knock a whole bunch of books off my TBR stack. But that is likely it for this month. I hope you've enjoyed going through these with me, and yeah, that's it. I will see you on my next video. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, you're gonna like the next one. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and hey, leave me a comment below because I love talking to you guys. Until next time, bye guys.